Hi, how you going? It's Sharon here from the Vitality Fit program with my second video of my 7-video series all about what you should know about yourself before embarking upon a health and well-being journey, a weight loss journey, a journey to improve your self-confidence, to love the skin that you're in, to increase your energy levels and to get fitter and healthier so that you feel good in your body every single day. So my second video today is all about your emotions. Because your emotions are what drive you. So if you think about the word emotion itself and you break it down into two parts, the E stands for energy and the motion obviously stands for the word motion. And when you put those two together, emotions are what put energy into our motion. So it's what drives us. And when you can get clear on what emotions it is, more specifically, that drive you, then you've got a much better chance of performing your own motivation strategy. So in other words, when you get a more clear understanding of your emotions and what emotions drive you, then you will be able to build your own motivation levels quicker, easier, and with more efficiency so that you can get yourself doing the things that you know that you need to and want to do in order to achieve your health and your well-being goals. So I guess today's video is really all about what drives you. And it's about helping you to understand where and when you use painful emotions and where and when you use pleasure emotions to build your motivation. Now, it sounds kind of crazy because wouldn't it be obvious to think that we all want to experience pleasurable emotions as much of the time as possible? But in actual fact, many of us, me included in the past, have used painful emotions to drive our behavior. So let me give you an example. I remember a time when I was on my weight loss journey. So back when I was in university, in fact, I just started university, I piled on the kilos. I was not eating such great food, wasn't taking very good care of myself, and I became a little bit what I'd like to call rounder. And after a few years of this, I decided that I wanted to do something about it and I wanted to lose the weight. So I had approximately 10 kilos of weight to lose. And one of the first things that I recognized about myself was that my nutrition over the weekend really wasn't so good. So it'd kind of get to Friday and my nutrition would really start to go downhill. I'd start to eat more snack foods, higher calorie foods, higher sugar foods. So things like more chocolate. I'd probably drink more alcohol over the weekend, more cheese and biscuits, perhaps the typical snack foods like potato chips and whatever else I could manage to get my hands on. Now, it wasn't sort of out of control, but it was definitely affecting my results. It was definitely holding me back from getting the results that I wanted. And it wasn't just the snack foods, it was also the main meals. So my main meals would be richer and higher in calories than what it would be during the week, where I tend to find it easier to eat better and eat well and prepare my meals ahead of time. So I recognized within myself that my weekend nutrition needed some work. And I started to notice the pattern of my nutrition over the weekend and, in fact, throughout the whole week. I would find myself, and I wonder if you can relate to this because women that I've spoken to, that I've helped on this journey, certainly can relate to this story that I'm about to share with you. So I would notice myself that on a Friday, my nutrition would start to go downhill, and that would carry on throughout Saturday and Sunday because it was the weekend. And then it would get to Monday and I'd feel really average. I'd feel bloated, I'd feel heavy, my energy levels were really poor, I'd feel really sluggish, and I'd just feel really gross within my body. My clothes would be fitting really tight because I'd be bloated, and I just would feel really average about myself. This would affect my self-confidence, and of course it wasn't helping me to lose weight. So by Monday, I had a huge amount of pain around how I felt about myself. I was a little bit hard on myself, beating myself up for the choices that I made over the weekend. And so then by Monday, I had this huge motivation to do something about it. So Monday would come and I'd start to clean up my eating. I'd start to eat better. That would carry through to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That would be replicated in my exercise routine. I'd exercise daily on those 3 days. And then by Thursday, I'd maybe start to relax a little bit more. And the reason that I'd start to relax a little bit more, it turns out, was because I didn't have as much pain around it anymore. I started to feel a bit better. I'd exercised well for 3 days. My energy levels were lifting up again. My bloatedness was subsiding, and I was just generally feeling better. So my motivation to take care of my nutrition and to exercise regularly started to drop. And so by Thursday, I got a little bit more relaxed about it, and then it would come to Friday again, and the level of relaxation would increase again, and then the whole cycle would start again, because by Friday I'd start to loosen up on my nutrition, probably wouldn't exercise over the weekend, and so the cycle would continue. So I wonder if you can relate to that, because it was certainly a pattern that was playing out for me a lot. So what was happening essentially was I was being highly driven by my pain emotions. And that pain emotion was kicking me into gear to take action, to clean up my nutrition, to get exercising. But the more that I did that behavior, the more that I cleaned up my nutrition, the more that I started exercising throughout the week, my motivation dipped, because the painful emotions also started to subside until they'd increase again come Monday. So I was highly pain motivated. Now, this isn't necessarily a good or a bad thing. It was a bit of a challenge for me, because it meant that my results were very stop-start. So that can be a symptom of knowing whether or not you're resourcefully using your emotions to drive you. If your behavior is quite stop-start, then you could be highly pain motivated and not mixing in much pleasure and motivation to keep that consistency going for yourself. Now, on the flip side of it, the pleasure emotions are great. Of course, if you're feeling good, you're more likely to want to keep going. That's essentially the logic around it, right? But pleasure emotions obviously don't always happen. There is usually sometimes a bit of a dip. Sometimes we fall off the bandwagon and we have a little bit of a challenge that we face. And in those times, we usually experience painful emotions. Now, for someone who's highly pleasure motivated, experiencing those painful emotions can be really, really discouraging. And can cause people to stop at times. So if you're someone who's struggling with consistency, or if you're purely struggling with getting the motivation to get started in the first place, then perhaps learning about whether or not you're more pain motivated or more pleasure motivated, getting a clearer understanding of where you're using your pain motivations to drive you and where you're using your pleasure motivations to drive you will be a great benefit in keeping that consistency around your behaviors. You can use your pain motivations to kick you into action, but then make sure that you use your pleasure motivations to keep that consistency. And if you're a pleasure motivated person, try not to get too disheartened when you experience a little setback. Simply accept it, move on, and get back on the bandwagon as quickly as possible. So the benefit of getting clear on what emotions drive you is a number of things. Number one, it gives you more consistency around taking action towards your goals. Number two, it can give you a greater understanding of why you're allowing yourself to experience painful emotions, because it can seem like it doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to feel bad in order to motivate myself? But it could be your strategy. It could be what gets you to take action. And if it's working for you, then that's okay. And finally, understanding where your motivations lie obviously means that you can motivate yourself better. When you get clearer on what emotions motivate you, it means that you can put those emotions into play. For example, for me, when I'm going for a run or when I'm going to do some exercise, I focus on how I'm going to feel at the end of it, because I'm now more pleasure motivated. So that drives me to take that action, to do that behavior, and to get on and do the exercise. Same sort of thing around nutrition choices that I make nowadays. Nowadays I think about how I'm going to feel after I eat the food. And of course I want to feel good after I eat food, and not heavy, not bloated, not headachy, certainly not sick. So if I'm driven by pleasure motivations, then I'm going to make a different decision around my nutrition if I know that I want to feel good as a result of what I eat. So I trust that this has been insightful. I trust that you're starting to think now a little bit more about your pain and your pleasure motivations, where they play out for you. If you'd like to get more of this information, remember, get onto the website that I'm going to post on the Facebook page so that you can get these videos direct to your inbox, and you can have all 7 of them to play over at your own convenience and get a true understanding of what it is that you need to know before you embark upon your weight loss, your wellbeing journey, and to begin to love the skin that you're in. Until the next video, I look forward to speaking to you then. Bye-bye.